Hello, everyone. It's Dad. I'm here for another D3 Dad and Dinero discussions. Right now, it's just me, Horror Movie Dad. K. Dinero will be joining us, and we'll be discussing another horror movie together. So, I'm going to go check if he's live right now so we can get a double live going. So, wait 1 sec while I check if he is available. And here we go. There he is. Invited. Up.
Yeah, boy.
He is. What's up, brother?
Damn, bro. Look at you, man.
Yeah. How you been?
I'm good, man. I thought that was a backwoods shirt, but it's a Mastermind shirt.
Dude, that's some old school right there, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Mastermind.
Yeah, that's I would love to see if anyone who jumps into this room knows who Mastermind is. But maybe
I highly doubt it.
yeah. Maybe we'll leave it alone until somebody does figure it out, or if no one does. But hey, man, I'm liking the flannel, bro.
Oh, thank you. Shout out to Dixon. They don't pay me or nothing, but hey, maybe one day they will.
Yeah. Nice, man. Well, it's Sunday again. It's been 2 weeks, and we're back on the D3 hype.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a cool movie that I picked, man.
Yeah. So, what we did 2 weeks ago is we discussed The Ritual. And for those who know, who are up in this room or coming in and out, whatever, I am Horror Movie Dad, and this is
K. Dinero.
And we are childhood friends. We have been friends for a very long time, and we discuss horror movies together live. All right,
That's what we do.
Going to be our third live on TikTok, but we have done this 46 times. This is our 46th D3. Before, we used to go live on Instagram, and we have graduated to TikTok. And then we post all of our old lives on YouTube. So you can check all the old lives out on my YouTube channel, Dad Watches Horror Movies. Check it out, subscribe, do whatever. So if you're on this live right now watching me and you follow me, or you're seeing it through Horror Movie Dad, make sure you give K. Dinero a nice little follow on TikTok as well. And I'm hoping K. Dinero's folks that are in the room do the same.
I see some people here. Shout out to everybody that's watching the live. Thank you for joining. I'm ready to get into it.
Right. So what we do is every time we go live, we choose a horror movie to watch. We watch it on our own because we live pretty far away from each other. So we watch it on our own, and then we discuss. And our last D3, I chose the movie The Ritual, and this time I'm going to let K. Dinero explain what movie he chose and why, and then we'll get into it.
So I chose the movie Smile. I saw it in theaters not too long ago, and it was a movie that really impressed me. So, I figured I'd want to watch it again. It was the second time seeing it, and it was just as good as the first time. So do you want to go ahead with the synopsis of the movie and how it goes down?
That's right. So what we do is I will read the synopsis of the movie, courtesy of letterboxd.com, which I have an account on. So I will read you all the synopsis of Smile, which was recently released in 2022. Once you see it, it's too late. After witnessing a bizarre, traumatic incident involving a patient, Dr. Rose Cotter starts experiencing frightening occurrences that she can't explain. As an overwhelming terror begins taking over her life, Rose must confront her troubling past in order to survive and escape her horrifying new reality. Smile.
I mean, when you think about it, it's pretty basic. It's like let's do a movie just about how somebody smiles at you. It's supposed to be scary, but you know what? They did a really good job. The director is Parker Finn, and I believe it's his first movie. He actually did a short, kind of the similar. I forget what the name of the short was, but it was basically the same thing as Smile. And I think it did such a good job that he turned it into a movie. But I want to give is it Sosie? I think it's Sosie Bacon, Kevin Bacon's daughter, who is are you passing? Are you smiling at me now? So um, Kevin Bacon's daughter plays Rose. See, I got my notes here. Look, see, I got all my notes.
Oh, look at this guy bringing
Yeah.
bringing out the secrets.
Yeah, so Kevin Bacon's daughter, Kevin Bacon's daughter, Sosie Bacon, plays the character named Rose. And
Right.
I want to say that in this movie, there really is nobody that cares about her. Like, her boyfriend doesn't care about her, her sister doesn't care about her, her therapist doesn't care about her, not even her boss cares about her. It's like, and I can see how she would go crazy, but like the characters in this movie don't do her any good.
Yeah, I can say so. You might I think I might have to interject a little bit in saying that I guess her boss or her director seemed like he cared about her, to me at least.
He did. You know what? I take that back. I take that back. I think out of all the people, there were two people that really cared about her, and it's funny. Her ex, yes. Angelina says I didn't know. Angelina says I didn't know that that was Kevin Bacon's daughter. Super cool. Yes, that was Kevin Bacon's daughter, and her ex did care about her, which is so odd because in the beginning of the movie, when she's being interviewed by the two detectives, one of them acts like he knows her already, and there's like something going on, like, but we don't know that until like the end. But not the end, but in the middle of the movie. But
Right.
her boyfriend was like the absolute worst boyfriend you could ever have. Like, he did not like he never wanted to hang out with her sister. He's like, even in the beginning of the movie, he's like, oh, we gotta hang out. Come on, let's just flake out. I don't want to hang out with your sister. And like, he was like super selfish, and like he got upset because she would break something in the house, like a wine glass, when she would get scared. And then he comes back again. She calls the cops because she thinks someone's in the house, and the only thing that he cares about is another broken glass on the ground. It's
Right.
like, dude, bro, come on, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that big of a deal.
His concern was fake. His concern about
Yeah, it was.
fake. He only really cared about himself mostly, even though he shows that he cares, but it's just a front. He's there for himself. You know what I mean? So I completely agree with you with that.
What's up, Harrison? I see H Smith 1212 is in the building. What's going on, Harrison? I hope you're doing good in Las Vegas. And what is this? MG 4410 said that's bad. I'm assuming you're talking about the actions of the boyfriend. Of course it's bad. Like, your girlfriend is going through a traumatic experience. You just saw, well, even before that, why don't you break down? Okay, let's go to the beginning of the movie and talk about the beginning. I want you to talk about this one.
Okay. So I'm going to go straight into the title screen, right? So it was a great opening title screen. I love the whole piece of not knowing what's going to happen, but kind of knowing something crazy is about to happen. You know, there's things in horror movies that you can tell that something's going to happen, but you're never sure what or how it's going to work out. And this is kind of what that opening scene was. And that's what I really enjoyed about it. But basically, Sosie Bacon, is that how you say her name? Sosie?
I think it's Sosie.
Yeah, so Dr. Rose Cotter. Her name is Sosie Bacon. So, funny thing you say that, because I didn't know it was Kevin Bacon's daughter either until you mentioned it.
Yeah.
So, either way, she is all about her work. She's exhausted. She's about to go home. She receives a phone call. She gets another patient that needs to come in. Some lady or college student, I guess, said that she saw her professor commits suicide in front of her. So basically tells Dr. Rose Cotter that she's not crazy, but she's seen something. She's seen someone that looks like her grandfather, somebody that looks like someone she knows, someone that looks like a random person that's always smiling at her creepily. If that's even a word. Creepily is a word.
Creepily. We're gonna someone look that up. Is creepily in the dictionary?
Creepily.
I think you just made up a new word.
Yeah. She ends up confiding in Dr. Rose Cotter, and Rose kind of goes about the whole step-by-step process of somebody that is seeing things or mentally breaking down. And she's like, no, you're not listening to me. And of course, she just thinks this is another case.
Hold on. Shelby Harden says, LOL, creepily is definitely a word. So creepily is a word.
There we go.
We are talking about the movie Smile.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch it on Paramount. You can stream it on Paramount Plus right now.
Yeah.
Dude, before you get into more what you're saying, I just want to say how awesome was it has to be one of the best opening credit scenes I've ever seen from a horror movie, because it was just so like in your face. And the way that patient dug her, it was like a shiv. She took the shiv of something like a broken pottery or something.
Yeah, from the vase.
She just
vase,
went, and just went like when I saw it again, I can't remember like how deep like she went into her face, and I was like, how are you still smiling when you're severing like every single muscle like right in your cheek? Like, don't you think like your like half of your face would start like you'd be like half smiling like
right like nerve, and you start going like,
yeah, it's just like a half smile, like what'd you do, like well, anyways, I mean, it's a horror movie. I'm sure people were saw the same thing, but dude, that opening scene with the music and was bonkers.
Yeah. So I got something here. So got from Paradise Forever. You guys gonna watch Knock at the Cabin? Sure. I'm down to watch Knock at the Cabin. And also Smile was creepy. It was creepy as fuck.
All right, hold on. Angelina says it was wicked crazy and set the whole tune for the movie. Yeah, most definitely. That, like if you're gonna have a movie and you want to set it from the start, like set the tone or tune, like it just bam, that was the way to go. Parker Finn nailed it.
Yeah, it set the tone quick, and it set the tone nicely. I just love how she she jumps and gets on the phone. Oh, security, whatever. And then she turns around, and then all of a sudden she's just standing there smiling. And just the way she just cuts and she just goes and she falls on the ground. There's blood all over the ground, and she's still smiling as she's dying.
Yeah. Dude, remember when they show the body bag? The smile is it's like a bloody soaked smile.
Yeah.
Dude, that was pretty crazy. You know who I thought what I thought was crazy about this movie is how in the beginning of the movie, she's a licensed therapist, behavioral therapist, right? And it's so ironic to have it happen to her. But before she sees this one patient, she sees this like this guy that's like a regular, and he's like, he kept on going back and forth, and he was going he's all, I'm gonna die, she's gonna die, you're gonna die, everybody's gonna die, I'm gonna die, I don't know, I'm gonna die, she's gonna die, I'm gonna die. And then she's like so calm, and she just looks at him and she's like, you're not gonna die. Like, like he's been here before. And like from that to going to what happens to her, and then how she has to like, she goes crazy. Like I want to say that Sosie Bacon, like the way that she was able to portray her mental breakdown was phenomenal, dude. Like I could see her really going crazy. And there are some other parts of the movie that we will talk about, about her going crazy. But this is just the beginning. This is the opening credits, and this movie's already like, fuck, like this movie's gonna be badass.
Well, yeah, even when the word smile comes across the scene, they're like pounding it on you, like meh, 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 meh.
Yeah, they are. They are, dude.
Yeah, so it's good. It's good. And I just loved how the title screen just came out right after. You know what I mean? We had to wait a while. They had to open up the movie a little bit and then the title screen later. So that's kind of how it starts to go now. Back in the day with these horror movies, it starts off with some creepy score, and then you just see the opening credits of the actors and the editors and the producers, and then the title screen comes, and then the story starts. But nowadays with these horror movies, you don't see, there's no opening credits anymore. It's just a title screen, and then you get your end credits. So it's something that movies have come a long way, and so it's something that I noticed recently when it comes to new releases. Yeah.
What did you think of the jump scares in this movie?
I thought the jump scares were predictable. So
okay.
Yeah, I knew when they were coming, but of course, even when when a jump scare is coming,
it's still a jump scare.
Still a jump scare, right? It's still gonna get you a little bit. I didn't. I've watched it. I watched this movie twice, so the second go through, I even knew when the jump scares were coming, but they would still get you. You still go like that, a little bit. I'm not one that's gonna freaking go like this, for a jump scare or something.
I jump.
Yeah,
I jump.
So, but of course, it gets you still. It makes that your chest kind of go, ooh, you know what I mean? The jump scares were good. I thought the jump scares were good, but the one thing I'm one of those people that are always kind of against jump scares in a movie. Well, not against them, but I don't think jump scares make a scary movie. I think dread and showing me something otherworldly and weird is even scarier than that. So jump scares are kind of like cheap thrills for me, at least. And it's always, set the tone with the creepy score or sound, and all of a sudden something's here, and it's like, nah! And then it's over. But at least these jump scares were legitimate jump scares, and not like a cat jumps through the window. Oh, it's okay now. Or a big bang goes, and you turn around and go, oh, it was nothing. At least all these jump scares were something, and that's what I like. If you're going to use a jump scare, make it actually be something, and don't make it like a fake out. You know what I mean?
I did like, there was a jump scare when she was so obsessed with what was happening to her, she kept listening to the audio, and there's this one part where like she's basically listening to the audio, and she's trying to understand, like, when you see a WAV file, you can look at the WAV file, it's flat, and then you see the the WAV file goes up and down, and she was finding spots where there was like tiny like hints of noise, and like when she stops and she like blows it up, and she can hear like Rose, because that was her name, and she like listens to it again, and then bam, her mom goes Rose, and I was like, oh shit, like that got me, dude.
Yeah,
that got me good. I was like, whoa, like that was a good one. And I watched it today, and I completely forgot about that jump scare, and I was like, writing my notes, and bam, I was like, oh damn, I don't remember that, but that was still good. It got me good.
The Rose, yeah, that was nuts. So I wanted to bring this up.
Oh, hold on. Hey, Marcos Gutierrez is in the house. What's up, Marcos?
What this guy's
Marcos is here. Hold on. Marcos Gutierrez says, still a big fan of the sleepaway camp ending. Yes,
of course.
That sleepaway camp ending is gnarly, and it will forever stay in my mind. It will forever stay in my mind.
To go off topic, which is completely fine. We love it. To go off topic, that is one of the top tier horror movie endings, like in horror movie history. It's a surprising ending. It's a creepy ending. And what's the actress that does that? She's on
Angela. Is that what her name was? Angela.
Yeah, I don't remember what her name is, but she's still does horror conventions and things and just lives off of that one scene to where she's going.
And you know what? I think I remember seeing her recently, and I think she's still hot. Like she's hot, dude. She's really good looking. For her age, she's definitely a cougar. And hey, I mean, I don't know exactly how old she is, but I mean, she still looks absolutely amazing. The only thing that kind of I always remember that last scene, and you kind of see you kind of see what the bottom area is looking like, and it's a little furry and a little jumpy.
I wanted to bring up, because you brought it up to me when you saw Smile first, right when it was released, and you told me, "Oh, Josh, you got to go watch it. We got to watch it." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'll watch it." And you told me that it reminded me of It Follows.
I mean,
I can see some of that in it too, but I want to see what your take is and how you think it kind of reminds you of It Follows. And do you think it stole some tactics from It Follows to make its own interpretation? So do you think this movie is kind of posing?
okay, so my whole
movie.
my whole theory, and we talked about this before. My whole theory is that It Follows is just a nightmare. It's a dream or a nightmare. The whole movie.
Right.
It's funny in the movie It Follows. All the people drive old school cars. There's nothing digital in it.
Right.
There's only thing that was digital in that movie was that weird clam thing. It was like this clam,
Like a
like digital reader or something like that. But
yeah.
everyone had rotary phones. There was nothing. They had old school tube TVs, and it just
No
had this
adults.
weird.
No adults.
What?
No adults.
Yeah, and there was no adults in the movie. It was just the kids, and there was never any supervision. And the difference between It Follows and Smile is It Follows was scary because you never really know what's going on. It's just this entity that follows and follows and follows, and it's passed through having sex. And so with Smile, we do know what the entity is because the entity will be someone that you've known in your life that had a traumatic event. And what it does is instead of having sex with a person, because that's what it did and It Follows, it would commit suicide, and it would do it in a brutal way where someone who has past trauma in their life is experiencing trauma again. And they pass down the curse to you. And when you pass it to someone else, this person's going to see, in case of Rose, her mom that was a drug addict. She kept seeing her mom. I believe the first girl who was evaluated by Rose, she said that her college professor bludgeoned himself with a hammer. But when
Right.
she got passed down the curse, she was seeing her grandfather. So it's crazy how this entity takes forms of people that are either bad or people that you have lost, but it's in a more traumatic way. It's just trauma, and that'd be terrible if that happened to me. I don't know what the hell I would see, but it's the difference between It Follows is there's always the unknown of It Follows, but on the Smile, you get what's happening and you see it with your own eyes.
Right. It was or I think it was kind of a knockoff because It Follows transfers through sex. Smile, it transfers through suicide or death or trauma. So
hold on. Angelina says she has a good question.
okay.
She says, what about when she went to the prison to meet with a man who survived the curse? Yes, and I thought that was very interesting. Margot said, I just bought a digital clam. I thought it was really interesting how they were able to track down all the names, and they meet the guy in prison, and she basically is trying to speak for someone else. but then she screws up when his name was Robert. Robert was the convict. He said the only way you break the curse is you have to kill somebody. And when you kill somebody, then the curse is ended. And then she's like, I can't kill anybody. And then he's like, oh, wait a second. You have it? And then the way he acted was so good. Like, it was, man.
Freaked out.
Yeah.
So apparently you can transfer it to somebody else, but you have to kill somebody brutally, but you have to have a witness.
Yep.
So I'm wondering, like, what if they had, like, 3 witnesses? Would they transfer to all 3? But that's a story. That's a question for another time.
You know, yeah, that's actually a good question. And then when she went to kill the patient, that guy at her work, yeah, that was when she had her nightmare. So it's weird because right before that scene, right, she gets, and this is another good scene, is she gets a visit from her therapist unannounced, and she lets the therapist in. And I thought it was really crazy how the phone rings. And she's like, are you going to answer that phone? And then when she picks up the phone, it's her therapist on the line. Yeah. And then she sees her therapist in front of her. And that's what, again, when we see the entity, but the entity is shown as someone who is in her life, whether it's traumatic or it's, has to deal with trauma, because she tells her trauma, her therapist, all of a sudden, the voice changes. And then you hear, what this entity sounds like. But then it's like the entity puts her in the corner and like screams in her ear, and like it's all drooling and stuff.
Yeah.
And like then it flashes forward to her in her car. She has a knife in her car. And she's like, she goes up, right? And she sees that one patient that went, oh, we're gonna die. You're gonna die.
You're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die.
Dude, bro, to the T. And dude, when she stabs that guy, oh my God, I was like, what? It's like she did it all slow, and then she did like another one, and then he starts laughing.
He's like,
and then she just goes like, fuck, yeah. And then Kumar, I'm just going to call him Kumar.
We were calling him
He rips his face off.
Yeah, he's like,
he rips it right off. I'm like, what the hell? And then bam, it's another dream. It's another night, like a hallucination.
So this entity's smart. I'm going to go back to It Follows. And of course, these are 2 different movies. If you're interested on our It Follows, just go. We did a whole D3 on this about a year ago or so. So check it out on YouTube. Dad Watches Horror Movies channel. But what I was gonna say was, this is a lot smarter. This one communicates with you. It Follows. It's just
hold on. Thank you, Marcos, for the love in the rose. Sorry, I just wanted to. So go ahead.
I can't see comments that you're receiving, so it's good that you mention it.
Okay.
Yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, that this entity is a lot smarter, but I wanted to kind of get into, or at least talk about, her sister and her family, and eventually get to that birthday party. But first, I wanted to talk about how awkward that dinner was at the restaurant with her.
Oh yeah,
how awkward it was, and I just like how it was one person. Oh, thank you very much, MG4410. Thank you very much for the gifts. Very nice of you. Looks like I got a rose and a heart with a dart. I'll take it. Good work. So, hey, it's a rose for Rose.
It is. Oh my God.
God, I'm so stupid. And, okay. my thoughts just scrambled. Oh, anyway, it's just funny.
We're getting to the party.
Yeah. It's just funny how her sister and they're complete opposites. One is single, no kids. The other one has a couple kids, is married. And you can tell the difference between the two. And I just like how her sister just keeps complaining about, oh, I don't ever have time for myself, my kids. And then Rose just goes, can you guys just shut the fuck up?
Yeah, that was good.
That was pretty.
Dude, okay, you can see like the tension between. There is big tension between Rose and her sister Holly.
Right.
Okay, and it has to deal with the way that they were brought up, and there is resentment that Rose has for Holly because there's a conversation with them where Holly basically, was the older sister and she couldn't deal with her mom. So what?
Hey, hold that thought. I want to say what's up to someone that just joined the room that you know as well.
Is that Horror Show official?
No, but somebody, a blast from the past from Instagram. What's up, Heather Loves Horror? Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Heather Loves Horror?
So yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Continue your thought. You got to say hello.
Okay? So Rose and Holly both grew up in a broken house, and their mom it looked like she had a pill problem, and I think Rose has this resentment towards Holly because instead of just sticking around, Holly was the older sister. She just kicked rocks and she left, and so she left Rose to deal with her mom, and Rose was there when her mom eventually overdosed.
Right.
And so I think, even as they get older, that is trauma, and they hold that accountability towards, like, I think Rose holds her older sister accountable for her actions because she left at the worst time and she had to hold all the weight from the family. So you can see that. And oh my God, the cat and the present at the kids' party. Yes.
Yeah, we're getting. So I'll I gotta say something about that because there's
poor mustache.
Poor mustache. Who names their cat Mustache, by the way?
I mean, my cat's named Pumpkin, so.
But come on, Pumpkin's fine. There's a Mustache. Like, where did you come up with that name? Like, I'm gonna name
my dog.
That's
like naming your cat Goatee or something, or like
naming a goat.
Or like
naming a goat Goatee is a good name.
That'd be cool. What if you named your cat Mullet?
Mullet works.
So, I wonder what that cat would look like.
I'll let you explain, just quickly on what her nephew opening her gift at her nephew's birthday party, and then I want to get to what happens right after that because that. Anyway, I'll let you explain that part, and then I'll get to what happens afterwards because it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Okay, so her sister, Holly reminds Rose, like, hey, their son's gonna have a birthday party. He really likes trains, right? And so there's another scene before the movie where Rose is trying to find Mustache. Mustache is her cat that she loves. It's nowhere to be found.
She's trying to. She needs to grow it back.
So
and bleaching it
when eventually when Rose goes to the birthday party, she has her gift and she opens the gift in front of No. Their son opens up the gift and his reaction is priceless. And then when she finds out it's Mustache and she sees, there's a split second where she sees the girl smiling again. And she falls over backwards and she like cuts up her arm. And the way that she has this mental breakdown is absolutely insane. Like I could feel it. I'm like, dude, I feel her emotions right now. I feel her going crazy. And she acted it so well to the T. And like there's this one part where I think she goes in her car and she has this like mental breakdown and she like.
Before you get to that, I want to go back to the mental breakdown she has at the party.
Okay, go ahead. You speak on
it. So, first off, just the way everybody looks at her. Okay, imagine a real mental patient that has a lot of problems and is seeing things like that in our lifetime. Imagine being that mental patient and you're having this crazy breakdown that no one understands and everyone's staring at you like you're insane. Imagine being that person, to where she thinks she's not. She knows she's not insane. She knows she's not insane. She knows something's after her, but everybody else around her thinks she's insane. And so imagine being her and just having all these people just stare at you like, what the hell is wrong with you? So, but what I wanted to go back to is when she fell through that table, I'm sorry, I laughed. I laughed pretty good when she fell through the table, and then she comes up and she's got her arms all cut up, and she looks at her arms and she's like, "Ah!" Like that. I laughed too. I'm mean and I'm weird, so but I laughed. Is that bad that I laughed at that?
I mean, hold on. Ange was here. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the likes. Really appreciate it. But I don't know, when she fell backwards, I was so devastated for her cat, bro, because I have a cat and I'm just like, damn, man, like that was just like the worst possible thing that you could have happen. So, it was just, man, I feel for her. She's not sleeping. She's going crazy. And like, again, like nobody's on her side. Like her sister don't like her, her therapist is not going to like, she wants prescribed something, but her therapist wants another session. So she wants more money. Her boyfriend just cares about broken glass in their place, so the only person that was helping her was her ex-boyfriend.
Right.
And then she's so desperate that she needs to find out what's going on, and he does the research, and that's what we find out, that this entity has been going on for a long time, from suicide to suicide to suicide, is passed down. Yeah. And that's how they figure it out. And she's at the point where she's like, well, the only way I'm not going to be able to, pass this on is if I go back to my old mom's house and I'm by myself. Because if I'm by myself, I'm not going to pass it down to anybody.
Yeah, the ex-boyfriend was the only one who really listened to her. Like,
yeah.
She pleaded with him, like, you don't understand what I'm saying. You need to listen to me. And he was the first one that went, like, sat down and goes, okay.
Yeah.
The boyfriend never listened. The boyfriend's like, ghosts? Like, the way he looks at her, oh, you're going to ruin my life, is what he says. And the way her sister looks at her, like, you're insane. The way her director, her boss looked at her was also, you're insane. You need rest. You haven't been sleeping. Go take a rest and come back. The boyfriend was the ex-boyfriend was the only one that actually sat down and listened to her.
Well, you know what? Okay, so I don't know what Rose and Joel, I don't know how they broke up. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But it's obvious that Joel still has lots of feelings for her.
Right.
So I don't know if he's the one that screwed up or whatever, but it's just good to know that, like, he still cares about this, about his ex. And I mean, obviously everybody goes through relationships and, everyone is different, but he actually cared and he helped her out. And it just sucks, man, because, I mean, in the end, Joel gets screwed.
Right. And to take a back from the end, my favorite jump scare, and it's probably you said you had yours, but mine, of course, is the weirdest one. When you started explaining when she was in her car. So she goes to see her sister, tries to to her sister after the whole cat in the box scene, goes back to her sister's house, talks to her, they get into a little spat. Rose goes back to her car, and then we see Rose is sitting in the car, and we see her sister from the side view coming down the walkway of her house, and we think her sister is coming back to talk to her. But it ends up not being her sister. She kind of hits her hand on top of the car, and her whole neck turns down and looks at her upside down.
Yeah.
And Rose starts screaming, and then it shows her actual sister staring from the window out at Rose, having a complete mental breakdown in the car, just going nuts. Because she was
going nuts.
She was going nuts, and just the perspective, and that's what I really liked about this movie. And I was going to put this in my final review at the end. but I'm going to say it again. I really like how the director and the actors really portrayed Rose as being insane. But she wasn't
Yeah.
insane, but all the actors around her, and this is props to the director, because the director is the one that has to tell how to act the certain part, right? And all the people around her, just the way they would look at Rose, from the extras to the side characters, just the way they would look at her. It's
Yeah.
help, and you're wrong and we're right, and it's just the whole judging of eyes. I thought this movie did that really well.
Oh, hold on. Correction.
Yes.
It wasn't her sister looking out the window.
Oh.
When it was.
Go ahead. Tell me. Yes.
It was the poor son who just got traumatized with the dead cat. And now he sees his auntie just going absolutely apeshit.
Dude, that's...
And his face, he's like this. He's like,
hey, tell me this. That son got the short end of the stick in this movie, bro. He didn't do,
you know who that...
anybody. And he got a dead cat for his birthday. And then he got to see his aunt go nuts in a car. Poor kid.
Dude, and bro, he looks like the kid from the Christmas Story.
Ralphie.
He looks like Ralphie. He
does
look like Ralphie. Hold on. Angelina says the jump scare was in the preview though, so it didn't really scare me. That is true. That was in the preview, but still, like, we knew what was coming. But that was pretty gnarly, dude.
To talk previews, I don't really watch them. You know, when a new preview comes out, I don't watch previews anymore for some reason.
Oh, okay. So that was new. That was new to you.
Yeah, that was new to me, and I don't watch previews because they're misleading. You know, there's a lot of previews that look excellent, and you watch the movie, and the movie's horrible. And there's a lot of previews horrible, and the movie's excellent. So I believe previews are really misleading. The only time I enjoy watching previews is if I go to the movies and I'm watching the previews before the movies. That's what I enjoy. I love the buildup of watching the movie at the theater. You know, watch like 5 previews and watch the movie. That's the only time. So even if there's a movie I really want to see, I still try to stay away from the preview. I'll watch it, but...
Dude, do you know how Rose would have never been in this situation?
If she just would have went home. Like,
yes,
her freaking boss.
Yes, just get in your car.
If she didn't pick up that phone call. She didn't run
answer that phone.
Goddamn phone call. God.
Hey, you know how there's the saying that there's one phone call that could change your life? Well, she got it.
Very true. She
got a phone call of a lifetime. All right, so we're getting to the end of the movie, and Rose finally decides to, and this is where I really like how the movie goes. Rose decides to go back to her mom's place where she has all the inner demons, all the childhood trauma, and, you know, she basically is going to fight this entity off, and at the same time, you know, battle her own demons. But at the same time, this entity is taking the form of her mom. So in actuality, it wasn't the brightest idea. Maybe she should have gone somewhere else, but instead she went back to a place that has the worst triggers of all time for her. And she comes face to face with her mom again. And now she talks. She has a full-on conversation with this entity. And you actually get to see, you know, the shape shifting of this entity from her mom to this giant, long-haired, scary, pale being with nasty teeth, dude.
Creepy mom.
Creepy mom.
And remember when she was having that conversation with her sister? I think it was at that dinner table with her boyfriend and her sister's husband. They were talking about the old house. Or I don't know. They were talking about the house they grew up in. And her sister said, you know, why don't you just get rid of it and knock it down? Or I think her husband, her brother-in-law says, why don't you just knock that thing down and get rid of it? You know, he says that. And, we don't know what this house is. At that moment, we don't know what this house is, what it looks like, where it's at. And at the end of the movie, Rose goes to that house so she can be isolated from everyone and confront this entity without anyone being around so it doesn't transfer itself into another person's body. But at that house, she rolls up to the house. You look at the house, it's a piece of garbage. You go inside the house, it is literally paint's peeling off the walls. There's mold everywhere. The house is completely trash.
Why is the house
still standing?
With nothing around it.
There's nothing around it. And why is Rose hanging on to this house? She's got insanely bad memories in it. Her mom died in it. She had abusive mother issues in this house, but she doesn't want to sell it or knock it down or get rid of it. She just keeps it in her family. Why? That's something you get rid of. And that's what kind of bothered me too, because usually she's a therapist. She's like she's getting money. She's one of the lead therapists at a mental hospital. She's got money. She can knock that thing down and do what she wants with it, but she leaves it. And I understand being sentimental to something like, your old house that you grew up as a child and you had great memories there with your family. Yeah, you want to keep that place. It's sentimental, but this place was nothing but trauma. Why wouldn't she just leave it in the past? And that was one of my issues. So.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, maybe somehow, some way she still is attached to the house, even though she had so much bad things. But, normally a normal person would have sold that place. And, therapists usually are the ones more sick in the head. Well, I know a therapist.
Heather said, "Good night, guys. Good to see you both." Good night, Heather. Have a good one.
Thanks for joining.
Yep.
Where was I? Oh yeah, I have a friend who's a therapist, and he's I won't get into much, but
right.
He's a funny guy.
Ooh, I got a basketball from MG4410, and he said it's because of tax purposes. So yeah, thanks for giving out your what do they call it? Your pro bono work. Thanks for giving your handouts so you can get a tax write-off. I appreciate that.
There you go. I love it.
Getting your tax write-off. So what do? Do you go on to your, when you're filling out your taxes, you put TikTok? I gave TikTok users so-and-so money. Is that why? I think that's why. I guess I'm a part of it. So good job.
You're going to have to get a 1099-R, bro.
Right.
Anyways, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want you to give your thoughts on what the entity looks like when it finally really reveals itself.
If this was really good, something that I wasn't expecting, and this is what I'm talking about. Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So if anyone's has seen this movie and you saw the end and when the entity reveals itself, you think of jump scares, you think of The Conjuring or Insidious or We Origin of Evil, any type of movie that bases most of their scares with jump scares. And then you see this. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is dread. The feeling that you saw, Kenny, aka K Dinero, what you saw when the entity showed itself, it wasn't a jump scare. It was a feeling of dread. And I had the feeling of dread when this happened. And that's what horror movies are all about. That is what I strive to find in a horror movie, is something dreadful happening. I'm also a big setting the table fan. I love the setting of something, but that's something different. The entity shows itself, and it literally, it's the face of the weird mom, right? The monster mom goes right into Rose's face and pulls down her skin. And to describe the face is really hard because it's got these beady eyes and it's got 4 mouths and the mouths are like a bunch of chins too. It's insane, and you literally stare at it as you go.
Yeah,
And
it was shock for me. I was shocked.
I rewound it the first time I watched the movie. I rewound it to watch it again. The second time I watched the movie, I rewound it to watch it again, just because it was CGI too, but it looked
so real,
damn real. And this is where I'm going to give the props, because you can always tell when something's CGI and when it's not. This, it's CGI because you can't build something like that, but it looked the most real I have seen any CGI done before, with the way that looked. And then the way it just starts climbing into her mouth, and you see the out, and you see this entity with this weird ass face climbing into Rose's mouth, about to take over her body. And that, that ending scene was beautiful. And that, if it wasn't for that ending scene, I might have had a different opinion about this movie. But yeah, what about your thoughts, man? Your thoughts on that scene?
Dude, it was literally and figuratively and physically mind blowing.
Yeah.
It was crazy to see, like, this entity takes on so many forms of people. So she sees her mom, but then when it opens itself, it's all the other people too.
Is it?
It's
okay.
It's all like, you see 5 jaws and 5 sets of teeth, and the eyes. There's so many eyes, and it's just like it keeps going and going and going, and it's like it just tells you that this thing, whatever it is, it's not gonna stop. There's no good fairy tale ending to this. You got cursed, and you're screwed, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can go off somewhere, and obviously Joel kind of screwed up, but he was still caring about his ex-girlfriend. But really, what would have happened? What would have happened if he never came there? And the entity, so I like the part how the entity goes into her mouth. Like, she eats the entity. What would she do? Would she just stay there? Or she was wait, or would she hit the road? She'd have to hit the road with the gas can and just light herself on fire in front of somebody.
I think the entity knew that Joel was pulling up.
And
so I want to go back to the title screen. And do you remember when Rose is talking to the first woman that the woman that she inherits the entity from? Do you remember when she sees something behind Rose and goes nuts and then lays on the ground and she starts going like she can't breathe? That's when the entity was climbing into her mouth at that moment.
Yep.
And so it makes you see, oh, that's why she was doing that. So it comes full circle. And like you said, I think the only reason the entity went into her because the entity knew Joel was showing up, or Joel was outside already. And the entity's, oh, here you go, screwed up, and boom. So I'll let you explain. I'll let you say, the final ending. Spoilers, everyone, if you didn't know, the final ending here of what happens with Rose and what happens with Joel.
Basically, Rose has, and this is so crazy. Rose has a gasoline, and she pours gasoline on herself, and she just opens up a box of matches, and it flashes to Joel's face.
Right.
And you see Rose just, you see in his eyeball, her catching on flames.
The reflection.
You can still kind of see her smiling.
Yeah.
And it's just enough, and then bam, the credits roll to Lollipop Kids.
Yeah, to Lollipop Kids.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to make a sequel? Or do you think...
I hope so. I don't know, but there's no word about it, but I hope so. I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
If you do make a new sequel, it has to be all new characters.
Right. Well, maybe it might be Joel, but maybe they might just go 20 years later or something, But it is a sequel ending, but are we going to get a sequel? I don't know. I don't know how you make a sequel to it, but horror movies find a way. There's something about horror movies that you can always make a sequel because people will always come back and want to get scared and want to see something weird.
Angelina says, director said he's not planning on it. but
Mhm.
isn't opposed to it.
Okay.
So, hey, bro, let's show Parker Finn them dollar bills, y'all.
So it'll be tough to. It's a tough movie to figure out. What are you going to do? The same thing again? What ends up happening is if you make a sequel, you have to go into break down the entity more. Like maybe it might be an origin story, or something like that. But we can speculate all we want with that.
All right, so you ready to do some reviews?
Yeah, and since you chose the movie, you're the first one to mention your review and take it away.
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I can't wait to see new movies by Parker Finn. I love the acting. I love the man, dude. I really like this movie. I'm gonna actually give this a 4.5.
Ooh, that's back to back 4.5s for you.
Yep.
Back to back 4.5s, and I'm looking at Parker Finn to see what he's done. And there's really nothing here.
That's it.
What's this? The hide behind. Lost deep in the forest, a lone backpacker encounters a particular stranger. That doesn't look too bad.
Oh, he directed that?
The hide behind. I might actually watch that and put it on my watch list. Okay. Anyway, sorry, because you said Parker Finn, and I was like, you know what? I want to see what other movies he did. Yeah. So my review. I liked the beginning. The opening credits were excellent. It set the table nicely, and I love the end. There's a few scenes in between that are great too. Very on the edge of your seat, trying to figure out what's going on or trying to feel what's going to happen next or see what happens next. And the movie made you feel for Rose. There's a lot of horror movies out there to where you don't really care about the characters. You just want to see some good kills or a good scare scene or something, But, I felt for Rose. I might have not have liked Rose as a person or a character as much, but I felt for her. And I felt the hopelessness that she had throughout the movie. And so that means good directing, that means good acting. So I do have to kind of chop Smile just a little bit because it is piggybacking off of the It Follows idea.
Yep.
But all horror movies do that. You come up with something new and it gets copied and perfected and it keeps going and going and going. Like Friday the 13th, the reason
Slasher films.
Friday the 13th was made was because of Halloween and Michael Myers.
Yep.
And everyone said Friday the 13th, oh, it's just a Halloween clone. But look how good Friday the 13th was and all the sequels. So, you can say it's a clone of something, but it doesn't mean that it's not any good. And the movie was good. I'm not going to go as big as you did, but the first time I watched it, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. And the second time I watched it, I'm going to keep it at a 3.5 out of 5.
Nice. Okay.
And that's still good. Anything 3 and above is a good movie. So
I agree.
3 and above is a good movie. It's just how good is it? And
yeah.
I'm glad that I watched this. I'm glad you made me watch it a second time because you recommended the first time and I watched it. And then you said, oh, we're going to do our D3 a month later. I was like, I have to watch it again because I didn't write any notes. And this time I got to make notes, mental notes. So it's a good movie. It's on my list of horror movie recommendations for anyone out there who wants to watch a movie that I recommend. I actually keep a list of all the horror movies I recommend, and this one jumped on that list, so it was good.
Knock at the Cabin. Yes, I agree. We definitely got to go check that out.
Oh yeah, Knock at the Cabin. So when is that? I want to Knock at the Cabin. Okay, 2023. It's not out yet. Is it out yet? No, it's not. Save your family or save humanity. Make the choice. Okay.
I think it's the M. Night Shyamalan.
It is M. Night Shyamalan. So that's the one with Batista, Tony Batista.
Yeah.
Dave Batista, not Tony. Tony Batista is a different person. So, but yeah. Okay.
All right, man.
I've seen the preview for that too. So M. Night Shyamalan, we'll see. I wasn't a fan of Old at all, and that was his latest one. So, but M. Night's always weird, so he's always a good watch.
Hey, man, I would say that definitely great D3. I can't wait to see what you pick next, dude.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I'm not gonna throw it out there, but I'm gonna tell you right now what I'm thinking. Okay. And I think this is going to be it. I'm about 75% sure this is going to be it. It's on
all right.
Barbarian. Have you seen Barbarian?
I have seen Barbarian.
Oh, you have? Okay. Well,
yes.
Are you to watch it again? Is the question.
Yeah, I'll watch it again.
Let me 75%. All right.
Okay.
I'll know like maybe in the next 4 or 5 days if that's the movie or not, because I haven't seen it, and I heard it was really good. So
absolutely. I enjoyed the great review, guys. Thank you, Angelina, for showing up again.
Angelina, very much.
Oh, she says she didn't like that one. It was slow.
It was slow. Well, isn't it a sequel to Barbarians?
What?
Barbarian. Isn't it a sequel to Barbarians?
I don't think so.
I think it is. Barbarians in 2021? Yeah, it is. Have you seen Barbarians? It wasn't.
Wait. It's a sequel?
Yeah, I think it's a sequel or a prequel. One of the two, but it is. I believe they are related. I'm checking out right now. Hold on.
All right.
Different directors. So, but I think it's. I don't know. I just heard who told me. Somebody told me that Barbarian and Barbarians are related. So. If we talk,
it was super. Hold on, it was super slow and weird.
Super slow and weird
for Barbarian.
Take it. Have a good one, MG.
Just don't drink milk while you're watching it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Since it was slow, we'll see if I choose that 75%. But we'll go probably 2 weeks from now, Sunday. We'll do it again, but we'll let everybody know on TikTok. When we're gonna do our next D3. But it's usually every 2 weeks. So,
all right.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before we sign off?
I just want to thank everybody that joined. Can't wait to see you guys back here in 2 weeks. We'll find out if Josh, aka Horror Movie Dad, really does select the Barbarian, or maybe he has something else up his sleeve.
Yeah. So how did the live go? Did you get it? Maybe we might as well let some people know. You know, how many likes did you get? You got a like meter up top?
It says I got 312 likes.
Nice, dude. There we go. I got 251. So.
Oh, nice. All right, dude.
We're moving it on, and reason why I'm saying that is because when we save these lives and I repost them, you don't get to see that information. So might as well just mention it. That's what was going on here. I can't see how many views I got yet, or you got, until we actually cancel it out and take a look. But either way, it was a good one, and we'll be back. And I'll make sure that my hair is not as crazy. So, but it's about haircut time anyway. So,
all right, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, bro. Have a good one. Thanks
everyone for joining.
Peace. Oh, anyway, since I'm still on, if you want to see this live, don't worry. I'm going to post it up on my YouTube channel, Dad Watches Horror Movies, down the line, probably in the next 3 or 4 days. So if you want to start and watch the whole thing, we're live for about 1 hour and 5 minutes. So, and you can check out all of our old D3s, Dad and Dinero discussions on that YouTube channel as well. Thank you. I thank everyone for watching and joining. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.